Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're calling in from or watching this from. I want to welcome you to day 3 of our Too Tired to Cook challenge. This is about finding one thing over the week, the one strategy that you will take to heart and try. Today we are doing breakfast, simple breakfast. Monday we did a simple way to make soup, and we made a beautiful curry cauliflower with red lentil soup. I got to remember all the beautiful things that were in it. And yesterday we had an amazing session with Tara Shawn Hausner from Blender Babes. That was really interesting. She told us all about the Vitamix and the different blenders and ways we can use our Vitamix other than just using it for making a smoothie. And I was impressed by how many people have Vitamix blenders in our group. That was so good. Anyway, all right.
Not me.
Not you. Maybe soon, Helene. Maybe soon. You never know.
Hey, Josie.
Yeah.
I sent you the link.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Look at that. Okay.
You're popular now. AW, your groups are more popular because I'm sharing all the information with all my friends.
You are so sweet. I love it. Thank you so much for doing that. I love that. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. This weekend, we're going to have all the sessions available for watching over the weekend. And the weekend starts on Friday this week. Get ready for that if you missed anything. So we are doing breakfast today.
Oh, lovely. What? Breakfast?
Breakfast. So if you are grabbing cereal from the cereal aisle at your grocery store, or you are grabbing a bagel with cream cheese, they taste good, but we're looking at foods that are going to be easy to make at home. You can grab and go, and we're going to take them. They are all nutrient dense. Every ingredient is good for you and it tastes good. So I'm doing 2 things today. I'm going to make an overnight oats. And overnight oats, I've made them before, and everybody says that sounds really disgusting. But you got to try it. So that challenge is to try overnight oats because they're really simple to make and they are so easy. I'm also going to make energy ball. So you can have an energy bite. So have a couple of energy bites. And I am okay. So Juju says she had red bean hummus on whole grain toast. That I would say is much better than a bagel for sure. So if you're going to work or you're having it at home, we sometimes will put it take a Pyrex dish, a glass Pyrex dish, and just fill it up with the overnight oats. And the idea is to put it in the fridge overnight. You can do it for a couple of nights, 2 or 3 nights, I say, probably not more than 3, but you can use a mason jar. This is a 1-cup mason jar. This is perfect size for an individual serving. So we are going to make an individual serving of that, and we're going to make energy bites using more or less the same ingredients that we're doing for our overnight oats. All right. So we're going to get started, and I will see if I can do my overhead view for you.
You can use it we can still see it. You don't have to use it. It still works the other way.
Let's try this. Let's see what happens. See. You can check it out. Is that okay? Or do you prefer looking at my face?
I prefer looking at the other way.
You like my face? It's that. Would everybody see it the other way? I can do that. Any other? I don't mind. It doesn't matter to me either way. All right. I only had 1 vote, so you win, okay? I'll put this off to the side. And I'll put myself back a little further so you can
see. That's good.
You like that? You can see me?
No, I can see everything in your kitchen.
You can see my kitchen.
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to get a little side cart that I can have for all my stuff here, so I have more room. All right. Okay. So let's make the overnight oats. Obviously, we need oats. And
what kind of oats?
So this is rolled oats. So I have a big container of rolled oats. Here's the oats that I use. These are called, this is called All Ingredients from Farmers We Know. That's the brand I use. So this bag came from Costco. And in the Toronto area, this bag was $14. Pretty good price, I would say, because I bought a smaller bag at the other grocery stores for about $10. Obviously. So what's great about this is it is sprouted, gluten-free, rolled oats, and organic, and glyphosate-free. So that is pretty much a home run when it comes to oats.
Is it kosher if you
Oh,
does it have a year in a circle anywhere or a
I
COR?
don't see that it says kosher. So I guess it's not a home run. Sorry. I don't know. I don't see anywhere where it is kosher. Yes, it says kosher.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
vegan,
Yeah.
kosher. It is
Okay.
glyphosate free. All right. So
And you bought it at Costco. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, this one I bought at Costco for $14. So that's a pretty good price. And I bought it a couple weeks ago. Now, why gluten free? Because you would think oats are actually gluten free, and they are, but they are usually produced and stored in the same containers that also contain other grains that do have gluten. So if you have celiac, you really need to be careful to buy gluten free oats. And they're sprouted, which means that they went through the process of being soaked and then reconstituted. And what the sprouting does is it starts the process of growing so that you get more nutrients. It enhances our nutrients. And it's glyphosate free. Glyphosate is everywhere these days. I'm surprised they can say it's glyphosate free, but glyphosate is in Roundup, and it is one of the most toxic pesticides and is pretty much everywhere nowadays. So the fact that they're able to say this is glyphosate free is pretty big. And it's also non-GMO and organic. So this one is a good one. You can read your labels on your oats. So we're going to take about a half a cup of oats, and I will give you the link at the end with the recipes so that you have them. And I will share them this weekend if you need to do that. All right, so I did half a cup of oats for that. And then I'm going to add in a little bit. So I have hemp hearts here. I store these in the freezer. Hemp hearts are big in Canada for sure, but they are, you don't hear too much about them on the regular, but hemp hearts have they have fiber in them. They also are omega-3 fatty acids, which is really great for us. So we need fat. Don't think you can go without fat, because you need fat, but we want healthy fat. And that comes from things like these whole foods. I have chia seeds here. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of chia seeds. Chia seeds are also high in fiber, really good nutritious value for us. And I'm going to add in some flax. Now I bought cold milled flax seeds. This again is from Costco. I store it in the freezer because flax seed can go rancid very quickly. So if you buy the whole seeds, you need to grind them up because we cannot digest the seeds. So you need to grind it up. And if you buy it already ground up, make sure you store it in the freezer because they will go rancid and then it's no good to you after that. So this is the core ingredients. And I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon to this. And then we add our plant-based milk. And I'm doing about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's the core ingredients. And so this would be the core. So let's say you wanted to make up a whole week's worth. You could make the jars up like this and not do anything else and just add the milk or plant-based milk at the night before, stir it up, add in a little bit of fruit. Now I've got dates. I cut up some dates to add to this. And then when it sits overnight, the dates just disintegrate. They become really soft and you get all these pops of amazing sweetness. And because it's whole food and lots of fiber and vitamins and minerals in the dates, this is a great way to get your sugar fix, is with this. Not with processed sugar, but with this. I also have organic dried apricots, so dried fruit. You could use dried mangoes. Just watch, read your labels. This one is just straight dried apricots with water, no chemicals to preserve it. So watch that. I bought these little packets, so I would just put a packet of this in. It's very convenient. I bought these just at my grocery store. And then I can stir this up, and I'm going to add some flavoring. So this is where you can get your creative juices going for what kind of flavors you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I stirred that up. I'm going to add some lemon and lime to this one. So I have lime, I'm just adding lime zest. So I've got a little zester here. And if you don't have a zester, you can use a little grater. And I'm just going to do a little bit of lime zest on the top. I washed this lime before we started. I'm going to add some lime. So I'm going to make a lemon lime overnight oats today. And you could do berries in that. You can do chocolate. I have a recipe for a chocolate one. So you can just use raw cacao powder or cocoa powder and put that in, and it's just delicious. With your dates. I'm going to add that in, scrape that down, get rid of that. I'm going to do the same with my lemon. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon zest, and then I'm going to add half a lemon juice. And this will make this really tangy. I made another one. The recipe that I made as well is apple pie overnight oats. So that has apple in it. Again, I use dates. You could put a little bit of maple syrup for sweetener if you want, but I find it's great without the maple syrup altogether. So that, and then I'm going to take my lemon. I'm going to cut it in half and add the juice of the lemon to my thing. And you can use your fingers to catch the seeds. I'm not very good at that. I prefer to get my strainer out. I think you can buy lemons, like I think the Meyer lemons, which I think taste a little different, don't have a lot of seeds. But I don't know, the lemons, just the straight lemons that I buy at the store, just the regular lemons, tend to have a lot of seeds. So this is going to give us a pop of acidity, a pop of freshness with the lemon and the lime. And then we want to add in our plant-based milk. So you can buy plant-based milk. And my daughter put away our plant-based milk that I bought. So you can buy it. If you're buying, you could buy, there's oat milk, there's almond milk, there's, I think, anything you want. You can get macadamia nut milk, cashew milk, anything you want. And all it is, you take the nuts, soak the nuts, and then, or the seeds, and then you add water and you blend it up and strain out the liquid, and that's your milk. But I have an easier way. So we're going to make our own almond milk. This is a real quick hack. You can do the same thing with oats. And I'll talk to at the end in my presentation about how you can make the oats. Now so Helen, this is for you, because if you don't have a big Vitamix, you don't need one for this. Now, I love my Vitamix. I wouldn't trade it in for the world. It is amazing, but sometimes you don't need a Vitamix. And for this one, it's pretty easy. I am going to put in about, let's say, a cup and a half. I'll do a cup and a half of water. Going to add in here. Not quite all of this. So I'll do that. And to make your almond milk, I have some almond butter. I'm just going to add a tablespoon.
That stuff is good.
Yes. Now, this one happens to be from Costco.
Yeah, that's the one that I've been eating.
Yeah. And it is
good.
Just roasted almonds. That's it. That's all that's in it.
And after Sunday night, I'm going to be putting it on all the matzahs that we bought.
That sounds good.
So
All right,
good.
so I have a heaping tablespoon of almond butter. I don't want to get it on the sides because it's going to get messy. You can add almond butter to your oats too if you like. If you love the almond butter, add it to your oats. It's beautiful. And then I'm just going to blend this up. It's pretty quick. This is the time trick for making quick nut milk. And yeah, and then I'm just going to add it in here to fill it up. I'm going to stir it up. I want to make sure it all stirs up. And then I'm just going to put this in the fridge overnight. I think you need to put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours and let everything soak up. And away you go. And there you have. This is delicious. You can use this as a snack. You can have it for your breakfast. It's very versatile. You can, oops, that's the wrong lid. That was for the almond milk. This is my lid for my jar. So I have the kind of the regular jars, the lids that come with the mason jars, which are these metal lids, but I also have some plastic lids that I bought that fit them, especially if I'm leaving something in the fridge for a long time. I prefer to use the plastic lids because these ones, the metal ones, do rust out. All right, I just need to put that in the fridge and let it set, and away we go. So you can make your whole week's worth of, for your work week, you can make the whole week's worth of overnight oats. I would say do 3 and add the liquid and put them in the fridge. And then you could do the other 2 like this, where you just add in the dry ingredients, and then you could just add your fruit and add your milk, put the lid on, and put them in the fridge for the other 2 days. Easy to do, and 10 minutes or less. 10 minutes or less. All right, now I want to show you how to make the same thing in an energy bite. And this is also, you can use this as a snack, or you can use it as your breakfast. So here I've got my food processor out for this. So
why do you need a food processor?
Because the food processor, we're gonna grind everything up to a ball. You need either a food processor, or you could use your Vitamix, but I would say you want to have the food processor attachment. That's what Tara Shawn talked about yesterday, that the more high-end Vitamixes come with, you can get them with the food processor now.
Those energy bars without food processor before.
Yeah, this one we use the food processor to grind up all the dates. And okay, so you gave me a challenge to come back and make it without the dates, without the food processor, okay? We'll do we do it without, but for this one, we're doing it with. So I'm using 3/4 of a cup of our oats in this.
Which oats? The same ones?
Same oats, exactly.
So the rolled oats.
The same brand, everything. I'm going to add in some dates. So I don't have to cut these up as fine because they don't have to be bite-sized, but make sure you get the pits out. I have done it. It was the pits when I forgot, or I missed getting one of the pits out of one of my dates. And I went to make blend my smoothie, and you could hear the pit going around, and basically ruined the whole thing. Because you can't just get the thing out, the pit out on its own. So be careful, get the pits out. And I just cut them in half and took the pits out. I'm going to add the chia seeds again, the same chia seeds that we did before. So very similar. I'm going to add in some hemp hearts. I can add in some of my hemp hearts. I can add in some flaxseed as well. And you can be however you want with this stuff and get creative with how you make your energy bites, the same way as you make your overnight oats. So I have that. And then I'm going to add in the lemon again. Oh, and I have some pistachios is different. Let me just get one person in here. Somebody just wants to join. Now I can't find my mouse to let them in. Ah, where's my mouse? It disappeared on me. There. All right, found the mouse. Sorry about that, ladies. So I've got, this is raw pistachios. Don't buy the roasted, salted ones. We just want to use raw pistachios. So this is going to give us some beautiful omega-3 fatty acids. Going to be a really great protein for our energy bite. And then I have some coconut flakes here. You can use coconut shreds. I've got just a little bit. If you don't like coconut, you don't have to put that in. We're going to add in some more lime zest. We're making lemon lime energy bites here. So more lime zest like we did in the overnight oats. Here we go. I think I got that lime pretty zested out now. And I'm going to add in some lemon. I'm going to use the same lemon here. Lemon zest. And you don't want to add liquid until if it's crumbly, your mixture, and the balls don't form, then you might want to add a little bit more liquid. But this one, you don't add any of the plant-based milk. Instead, we added the actual nuts here. So I'll just get that off. Get out my strainer so I don't get any lemon seeds, and add in the lemon juice. All right, beautiful. And smell that lemon. All right, so now we're gonna pulse and mix this up until you could start see it forming a bit of a ball. It starts to form a ball. So you can watch for the to all glom together as a ball. And hopefully it does that.
I don't hear it.
You can see that I don't know if you could see that it started to stick together a little bit here. See, it's sticking together. And all I need to do is, because of the dates, and I just can form these into balls. Now you could add some coconut dust it with some coconut on the end if you would like. I'm just going to make a couple of balls here.
You have coconut?
I just have the flakes. I don't have shredded coconut. Now here's what I could do. I put my shredded coconut. I have flakes. I can take my flakes and put them into my Vitamix.
Chocolate chips?
And yeah, I've got the chips, so I could take those and shred it by just putting them in the Vitamix. And that's it. All right. So now I can put these in the fridge and then put them together, and you can make them whatever size you want. I just make them like a Timbit or a donut hole, I guess. In the US, I think Tim's is more well known now than it used to be. But we here in Canada, Tim's is like the place to go for coffee, I guess, that or either Starbucks, depending what you like.
I like Starbucks too.
It's like a size of a Timbit. And so you could take and grab a couple of these and have them at work if you would like. And there's so many varieties. You can add chocolate, you can add some apple, a little bit of vanilla, however you want. I got to get my thing here because my hands are now sticky. All right. I don't know if you guys have any questions about. So these are very simple and easy to make as well.
So now you could eat one. You could eat one now. Okay.
I will.
You could eat one.
I will eat one.
Are you gonna put it in the fridge?
I will put them in the fridge, yeah.
Yeah.
It's better to let them go for about 20 minutes at least in the fridge. But that's good.
You can't freeze them, can you? I don't think you can freeze them.
I think you can.
You can?
Yeah.
Have you tried?
No, but I think that the ingredients, I think all of these ingredients are going to be in the freezer. But I'll double check, Helene, and let you know. Pretty
so
sure.
Good.
All right.
Looks so good.
You got me hungry. I went to have lunch.
Yeah, you missed the whole.
You can see a little bit of the oats on the outside, and there's
so
a little bit of chia seeds as well.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make some of those.
They're very good. If you like sweet treats, these are great for sweet. A little bit of sweet. Have them with your coffee or your afternoon tea.
I put more harder stuff.
Like hard stuff?
I like harder. I like cookies.
All right.
I like cookies.
We got to
get biscuits.
We'll get you some cookies that are good for you. I have a chocolate chip cookie recipe, but they're soft chocolate chips. I don't know if you'd like that. All right. I did want to go through a few things. What have we got? We got about up to 25 minutes that I can take up. I'm going to go through. Some of you may have seen this version of my presentation, but I've got different things. I'm not doing exactly the same things again. So let me bring up my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
All right. So this is, here's my little quote for the day. Small changes can make a big impact. Swap processed for whole, and your body will thank you with the energy that you never knew you had. And so this program is all about making some small changes. So of the things that we do this week, this is pick one if you're not already doing something, and just take one thing. So if you could take your energy bites and make those and have those for breakfast or for a snack instead of something else that maybe is processed food. And that's all that I'm asking is for you to try one thing. If you try a soup and have soup, or maybe salad, or tomorrow we're going to talk about juicing, or maybe a soup, use your blender for a soup or a smoothie, and just getting into the habit of swapping out something processed for something whole. I've already mentioned about my journey and how I got here. My first step was that I fat, sick, or nearly dead is how I was feeling. And that was when I knew two things. I didn't know what was wrong. I was starting to have health challenges, but I didn't know but I did know two things. One thing I knew is that it would probably get worse. And the second thing was that I probably needed to make some changes to my lifestyle. That's all I knew. And then I happened to go to a talk from John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And he was talking he was just at a business seminar. I didn't go specifically to see him, and he was talking about sugar and what sugar does to our body. And here's what sugar does. I thought sugar was empty calories, but what this processed sugar does is when you have processed sugar, it spikes your insulin because you've got too much sugar, too much glucose in your bloodstream. Now, these energy bites have lots of sugar in them, but it's natural sugar. It comes with fiber. It comes in whole food, and eating sugar from whole food is perfectly fine. There's nothing, you're getting the fiber, you're also getting the vitamins and the minerals. It's not the same with processed sugar. All you're getting is the glucose spike. So then once our glucose is high, our insulin kicks in and goes working overdrive to lower our blood sugar. And then when that happens, we end up getting this sugar crash, and we're all of a sudden have no energy. And that kicks in our cortisol levels, and then we are craving the sugar again. And that was one of the things that I didn't realize, is that I was on this vicious cycle of eating sugar. And the more I ate, the more my body wanted. And I didn't realize that. And once I realized that, I wanted to get off of it. And I did my own little detox, if you will, to get off of sugar. And I really treated it like an addiction. And so that came from actually the Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's a documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's a great one to watch. You can just get it on YouTube. And I think I put it in one of my Facebook groups as well, in the Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group, I put it in there. I should put it in again so you can see it. It was really good. All right. And that's all I wanted to say about sugar.
That I think is also on YouTube. You can watch it off of YouTube.
Yes,
I
you can
think.
watch it on YouTube. So I wanted just to do a little comparison of breakfast cereals. If you're eating breakfast cereals, what is it? This part is my fun part. I like this part. All right, so let's look at some breakfast cereals. My first one is Special K. Can you see me or no?
Yeah.
All right.
I can see you.
Special K here. And here is a cup of Special K in a mason jar. Okay. Now, here is my overnight oats that has actually been sitting overnight. This one is my apple pie one. So you can see this is like twice as heavy as this one here. And they're pretty much both the same serving size. I also have my chocolate overnight oats here that I made. I'd stir this one up. I have. Now, I also have a cup of granola here. So you can get granola. You got this granola is just regular bulk granola. It's just a basic granola that you buy at the store. And then I have Quaker Oats. So you can buy Quaker Oats in a package, right? You can buy little packages. So this is a package of the maple and brown sugar, which is the one my daughter used to eat or like.
The peaches and cream one is good too.
Look at how much you get. Very small amount. This is a serving size. I would think you'd need at least 2 serving sizes to make that work. And you just add water. You could just take regular oats and add water. And then the other thing that you could do for breakfast is to just do a bar. And I have a Lara bar. Now the Lara bar is great because it has 3 ingredients: cashews, dried apple, and let me remember the third one, dates. That's right. So dates, cashews, and dried apple. That's it. So this is a serving size of that. So I just wanted to do a comparison for you, so you can just see the difference. And let me get onto my mouse disappeared again. All right. So my Bulk Barn granola, I added the kilocalories for reference, although I do not believe in counting calories for your food. I believe in eating good, nutritious whole foods as the way to your health, your best health, to live your best life. So this granola, just regular Bulk Barn granola, 1 cup. is 520 kilocalories. So it's the highest in calories. And again, I don't have any credence to that, but it has 21 grams of sugar, which is 5.25 teaspoons of added sugar. And it's not with dates, by the way, it's sugar. It has 10 milligrams of salt, which isn't a lot, but it does have some salt, and 13 grams of processed oils. Now, if I measured out 13 grams of processed oil, in this one cup, it's 1 tablespoon of oil is what you're getting. 1 tablespoon of oil. So I think that's pretty high for the oil content. I don't know what you think, but it's up to you. So to me, this is a sugar and oil bomb. It's marketed as a healthy food, but it is highly processed and has a lot of sugar and oil in it. Now, our maple brown Quaker Oats maple and brown sugar oatmeal is the smallest in it from a calorie perspective. It has 160 kilocalories. It has 12 grams of sugar, which is around 3 teaspoons, mostly added sugar. It has 260 milligrams of salt, which is roughly 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now it has minimal fat, but it may contain modified palm oil. And it's a small amount. I think you need to have a couple of packages. And I think that it has high hidden sugar and high salt, which will create some cravings for us. And our Special K red berries, 1 cup, it's 140 kilocalories, so it's small. And I know at one point, Special K was marketed as being a way to lose weight. And so you can get a small, lower in calorie, but it has 10 grams of sugar, which is about 2.5 teaspoons, has 190 milligrams of salt. That should say 1/10 of a teaspoon of salt. So it's not a ton, but more than we should be getting. Most of our salt should come from our foods that we're eating. It doesn't have a lot of oil, but it does have it. It's one of these things that's marketed again as being healthy, but it has a lot of sugar in it, and it's also got the salt in it. Now, if we move on, the Larabar, which is beautiful foods, cashews, dates, and apple. It's 200 kilocalories per bar. It has 18 grams of sugar, which is all from natural sugar. So that's okay. We can check the box from that. And it has 10 grams of oil, which is all from the cashews. So that one is, if you're going to buy something that's processed in a package, this would be the option I would recommend. It's easy to go. Now, our lemon lime bites. Oh, no, our overnight oats, sorry. That is 250 kilocalories. So this is our lemon lime. It has 10 to 12 grams of sugar. If I put in the maple, it's more like 12 grams, but I didn't put any maple syrup. The dates and the lemon juice. So we have about 10 grams of sugar, and it's all naturally occurring. So it gets a check mark. It can have up to 30 milligrams of salt, so it's a trace amount. And it has 7 grams of oil that's coming directly from the things that we put in, the seeds and I don't know, so we had I forgot the hemp hearts, we had the flax oil, or flax seeds. Those are what are making up the oil. So it's all with fiber. So this is a whole food. It's got natural sugar, fiber rich, and it will provide you with steady energy. And let me tell you, it'll last you all day. Some of my clients say to me, when they have the oats for breakfast, they're not hungry till mid-afternoon because it keeps you satisfied. And then the lemon lime oat energy bars, that's for 2 of them is 180 kilocalories. That has 14 grams of sugar from the dates. That'll have roughly 30 milligrams of salt. That'll come from the pistachios. And if you put a pinch of salt, I don't put salt in, but you could put a pinch of salt. And then the oil, it has 8 grams of fat from nuts and seeds. So that comes from our pistachios, from the hemp hearts, the chia seeds, and the flax seeds. And so this is really a way to get a light, refreshing flavor with citrus zest It will good for your digestion. It's good as a detox. It's rich in fiber, omega-3s, and it's a whole food with no added sugar. So you can guess where I am leaning on all of that. No, you can't. All right. Hang on, I'm going to check the chat right now. And yes, so Juju's saying, yeah, it's so true. Yes. So I know you always have some, you guys always have some great comments and things. Okay. So you can make your almond milk. Again, you could actually make your own almond milk by soaking almonds overnight. You can blend them up. You would have 1 cup of almonds to 3 to 4 cups of water, and you want to use filtered water. And then once you blend it in your blender, usually a high speed blender is what you would want to do. Then you can strain it with a nut bag or a fine mesh to remove the fiber and the chunks, the little silt from the almonds. And then you could add a little bit of flavoring. And this actually tastes so much better than the bought stuff. It only lasts 2, maybe 3 days in the fridge. It does go sour. And then you could take that almond pulp and put it into energy bites or into your smoothie if you wanted, or make it into almond flour. Now you could do oat milk as well. So if you don't want to oat milk, you can buy cleaner versions of nut and oat milk. If you don't have time or you don't want to make your own, make sure that it's minimal ingredients. So with the oat milk, usually it's filtered water and oats, and then sometimes you'll see it with amylase. I think that the cheapest I've seen that, they used to carry it at Costco with just the minimal ingredients, but I haven't seen it lately. In my superstore, I think I saw it for $3.25 for just the oat milk, and that was the cheapest. Some brands, there's one brand, Elmhurst, has just the nuts. It doesn't have any of the additives like the amylase enzyme. And that one is like $9 for one, not even a liter, I don't think. So it can get pretty expensive, and it's very easy to make your own. Look for the labels, make sure there's no added oils, no carrageenan or unnecessary gums. There's gallon gum or gallon gum. You can have a little bit, but if you can avoid it, please do. And some of these things are really emulsifiers to keep it from separating, but it's okay. You can just shake it up to get it to where you want. Make sure it doesn't have any added sugar or sweeteners. Sometimes they have fortified with B12 and calcium. That's not required. So some of the best brands include Elmhurst, which is nuts and water only. But again, this one is a very expensive brand. Malk, M-A-L-K, is organic and simple ingredients. I think that's in the US. 3 Trees is also a good one, and Califia Farms. And I know that Califia Farms is in Canada as well as Elmhurst. Think you can get milk there, but I'm not sure. And then your lazy oat or nut milk, really easy. So this would be if you're making oats, just take your almond butter like I did, or you could do cashew butter, whatever, and add your water, blend it up. You don't even need a high-speed blender, and that's easy for using in smoothies, coffee, and other recipes. Not sure if you want to drink it that way, you could decide on your own. And if you want it to be more concentrated and not so watery, just add more almonds or almond butter. And then for oat milk, you take a couple of tablespoons of oat flour or quick oats and a cup of water, blend them up, and just, you don't need to strain. And these are really good for cooking, baking, or smoothies, or our overnight oats. Not the best for drinking itself, but this is a real quick hack instead of paying a bunch of money at the store. And then if you can freeze your oat or nut milk, so you can make a batch and put it into silicone trays and freeze it, and then you can use it in your smoothies and recipes as well. So it'll last about 3 months if you wanted to freeze your oat milk. And I think the other pro tips is to shake or blend after defrosting your milk. The macadamia or cashew is the best for freezing. And you should avoid freezing oat milk because it gets the slimy texture. And even oat milk will get a slimy texture if you over blend it. I know Gloria was on one time and she said she was getting a lot of sliminess in her oat milk. And when she cut down on her blender time to just 30 seconds, it worked way better for her. So oat milk can be very fidgety. And if you're using glass jars, make sure you leave room for the expansion at the top. I used to put, what do you call that? I'm going to stop sharing. I used to take and make my own broth and put it in the freezer, and I would leave space, but I still found sometimes the jars cracked. It's not always the best, but you can try it. I don't know if there's any questions. I have my oat milk here, or my overnight oats that I made with the apples and cinnamon. I'm going to bring them out now. I just can stir them up. My apples are all floated to the top. I just cut up a bit of a honey crisp apple. And I have I could pour this out, or I could eat it in the jar. You could eat it while you're on your way to work. Add a little bit of raspberries to the top. And you've got an amazing, nutritious, and fulfilling breakfast that will keep you till at least lunch, if not longer. For sure. Oops, cheers. Well, this one has nuts in it as well. I love getting the hint of the sweetness of the fruit in it as well. But I will say I like the ones, if you're just trying it, start with the dried fruit, because it'll give you a nice pop for sure. Any questions? All right. I'm going to pop the link in the chat. So for the recipes, you can try. And yes, overnight oats can sound like really weird, but they do actually taste good. So try it before you decide. And I would start with something with dates or dried apricots, some kind of dried fruit for sure. I would start with those and work your way. And let me see. I also have, I will send it out tomorrow as well. I am developing a course on detoxing from processed food. I'm launching it in the middle of May, so that's keeping me busy, but I have a little survey. So I've just popped the link in the chat. And I'm also going to pop a link if you would, I would really appreciate if you would do the survey or fill out the survey. It'll take a few minutes. And as my gift to you, if you do the survey, when I have my resource, it'll be free to you. You get it for free. Yeah, and I'll send that to you along with a few other little goodies to go with it. And it just takes just a couple minutes. You may not or may not be interested in a detox from processed foods, but even if you're not, I would love to know and get some feedback from you so that I can make sure I do the best with my course.